breath to breath becomes an umbilical cord one to another as we use UnBurdening Meditation. Today's segment will speak a little bit about UnBurdening Meditations, why it works, and the difference between meditation and unburdening. So we'll hit a little bit on those topics in this moment. My name is Portia Brantley. Many of you know me as Coach Portia. I am your parts work and unburdening meditation liaison. Today we will be discussing a little bit about breath to breath. What it is you mean, Coach Portia, when you speak about breath to breath. When I speak about breath to breath, I'm speaking about the innermost parts of us, the divine portions of us that we truly live out of day to day. Many of us struggle with living out of our divine essence. I use the tool of parts work to bring us holistically closer to what truly is and who we are at our core. What is parts work? Parts work is a very important tool I use through the Internal Family Systems Model by Dr. Richard Schwartz. Dr. Richard Schwartz and my guru, Guthrie Sion, who I learned parts work through, has taught me a wealth of information regarding parts work, and how we become close to those to self-lead, not just for ourselves, but within our communities. I know, parts work is so unheard of, and many of us have never even tapped into portions of ourselves that we call parts. However, there is a part of you listening to this video in this moment. There is also a part of you maybe watching my background in this moment and dissecting it. There is another part that may be saying, what's written on her shirt? And there is another part that may be admiring my amazing locks or my hoop earrings. All of these within us are parts of us that dissect, interact, and relate not just to others, but more importantly, ourselves. So in this moment, let's do just a quick exercise. I want us all to pause and just take a few deep breaths just on your own measure. But when you take these breaths, allow the breaths to get into your torso and make it dramatic, like, and hold it for a few moments, feeling your heartbeat resonate, allowing the awareness of yourself to just begin to escape within. And let's do that again, just to slow down the pace, just for a moment. A very dramatic breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Relaxing the mind, relaxing the body, just grounding ourselves just a little bit so we can begin to wrap ourselves around what truly is. One more deep breath in and out. What is it that begins to happen to the self when you just begin to breathe? Breath to breath, and with breath, we can change our entire atmosphere. And the atmosphere many times is not really outside of us, but it is the parts within us. Do you notice how things just sort of begin to dwindle in effect when you began to breathe? Breath to breath is very important because we learn that when we give ourselves time to breathe, we begin to settle our own parts as well as the atmosphere around us. Within the breath, many things occur and happen. Without the wind, without the essence of wind flowing in and through our veins, in and or around us, we lose focus. So we must continue to have that breath and breathe. Have you ever heard someone that says, "Oh wow, I never even knew that I could breathe in such a way"? Many times in our communities, we are not taught to simply slow down and breathe. In one of the largest cities in the state of Connecticut, Bridgeport, we are caught many times in the hustle and bustle of our communities, working, going about, taking the bus, watching cars, crossing the street. There's so many moving parts. What I want you to do is begin to focus in on your breath. And just simply breathe. You owe it to yourself. Breath to breath. Breath to breath becomes an umbilical cord one to another. For instance, as I am and in the awareness of my breath, you begin to slow down your pace. We are permeable beings, and we are connected breath to breath, almost physically, as a mother carries a babe in her womb, and they're connected by that umbilical cord. Through that umbilical cord, we eat, we drink, we even rest, we feel the anxieties of the mother. Breath to breath, because we are permeable, becomes the same silent or invisible umbilical cord one to another. More importantly, when we are feeding ourselves through the breath, through meditation, we begin to afford wealth to everyone else around us. But first, Bridgeport, we must deal with number one, ourselves. You are vital. And you are vital not just to our communities, but you are vital to self and to your amazing parts. Hopefully by now you have seen a small 11-minute intro, a little bit about parts, what it is, why I use this great tool in my everyday practice of UnBurdening Meditations. As your liaison, I become the guide to help you heal your inner parts. We sit with your parts, we take a look at your parts, and we use this tool to help unburden with meditation. Often in my practice, we use, and many of you may have seen, these amazing stones, and many meditation practices use them. Many become bracelets, as you can see here, and many use the stones as different chakra points and measures. Also, in my practice, and more importantly, if you've sat before me ever in a group session or an individual session, Your first session may consist of something called intention stones. And we use these various intention stones to help us begin to unburden our parts and get close to our parts. So you will see these intention stones, you will go by them, whichever one resonates to you most is the one that you will choose in a session. I often use these intention stones because they become an added layer to what is and needs to be unburdened. These intention stones have different feels and touches to them. And if someone says, well, there are two intention stones that are speaking out to me in a moment, I allow them to house and hold the intention stones, close their eyes, and see which one resonates to them most in that moment. And more times than not, a part will speak and it will let the individual know which one needs the most attention in this moment. Unburdening meditations and why it works. Unburdening meditation works because it is a pause in time. Unburdening because there's so many depressed parts, saddened parts, parts that have been buried day after day for years and often decades. These burdened parts began to overwhelm us in our lives, and there becomes, as my guru says it best, an echoing back of something that is not healed. What will our parts begin to do? Our parts begin to act out. Our parts begin to show up in ways that we know is truly not who we are at our core. With parts work and through these intention stones many times, we begin to get close to unburdening meditation, the part that's most burdened in the present moment, the part that just doesn't go away. I hope I'm making a lot of sense. Why we use unburdening meditation is to simply relieve a part from its duty. We begin to resonate with a part. We sit with it. We get close to it. And we begin to understand why it is there. The liaison part comes in, or coaching part of it comes in, when you may not know necessarily where to go. Coach Portia, or Liaison Portia, becomes a guide in helping you to navigate your parts within yourself. Much like a babe who learns many things day to day, we begin to grow and learn with our parts. I become mother to the parts with you to help you facilitate through your parts. Now, because this is coaching and not just therapy, because it's not therapy, because this is coaching, Coach Portia doesn't have the answers for you. What I do is help you navigate into yourself, feeling safe, feeling secure, allowing a place for you to become one and a little bit closer to your parts, especially the parts that have been burdened, suppressed, moved backwards, buried. Parts lead to these parts, and I simply help you as though you were a child walking across a busy street or an elderly person. I simply take your hand and guide you along your way. So as your parts work liaison, I am here to help facilitate between you and your unburdening within the meditation. What I use as meditation many times is something called a guided meditation. Much like what we did similar, with just by helping you breathe, getting close to your heartbeat in the moment. Of course, it goes much deeper than that. The difference between meditation and an actual unburdening is meditation many times is there to soothe the soul. Unburdening, however, is something that we do. It becomes a state of being, and it becomes a way of living. Although the meditation practice becomes very consistent within our lives, through parts work, we begin to learn to unburden our parts, really getting close to those parts, sitting with those parts, feeling the parts. Why is it there? We begin to speak with those parts, where in meditation many times becomes a silent hum, a state of nothingness, not doing, not being, just allowing what is to just be. With unburdening, we work closely with our inner divine parts, those that appear to be blackened in color, dark, very not seen. We get close to those parts and we help you navigate together. Group meditation becomes very, very vital for our communities. Oh, I hear many people say, I don't want anyone to know what I'm doing. Don't worry. With parts work and unburdening meditation, our meditations could be as silent, and or you have the opportunity to speak out when the brave one is present. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, amazing things begin to happen. One-on-one, we sit and speak with one another when I'm in front of an individual. It is powerful, it is potent, and I have watched many transform in front of my very own eyes. With group meditation, when 2 or 3 are gathered, the atmosphere is just heightened just a little bit more, and healing becomes more prevalent for the self. What begins to happen with a person who is burdened and they step into a room that is already vibrating at an amazing tone? Many times the parts become very emotional. The parts may feel like running, yet many times something continues to draw the person in because they're safe. They're in a sacred, confidential arena for them to simply heal. Much like an open altar, our group sessions run very parallel to what's safe, what's confident, what's passionate. And like in Vegas, what happens in the group sessions stay in the group sessions. Unless you want to take your testimony out individually, but what happens in the group sessions stay in the group sessions. Coach Portia, how come I have not heard anything about parts work? I am one of very few in this entire state of Connecticut that understands and works thoroughly and specifically with and in parts work. We have doctors of parts work, but I am one of very few coaches who present to you and to the world a world of parts work coaching. Not only that, many of you may have seen me in your communities doing parts work, riding in the streets, rescuing those that are burdened and bound. This is what we do. I become your parts work liaison, and I am here to help you unburden. As an individual, you are so important to this community. Dive in deep. Fear not yourself, because everything that you need is within. As your liaison to yourself and to your parts, I am here to help assist you in living a life that is full of answers, full of good support, full of sacred pathways, not just for yourself, but as you grow and as you continue to vibe and get on a scale and level of living a life of fullness, where creativity happens, where love takes over, where you begin to vibe and thrive within your community, where you not only have the answers for yourself, but you begin to help others. Each one, teach one becomes very vital within the community of parts work. Coach Portia, what will parts work do with and for me? How is it that I could thrive? I've been to a therapist. I have a doctor of psychiatry. I have all of these amazing group functions with me. What makes parts work and unburdening parts so different? I could definitely answer that question. When you sit before a therapist or even a doctor of psychology or psychiatry, they have the answers for you. They will help you navigate, sure. However, with coaching, you have the answers for yourself. There is a strategic difference in that. Many times, and especially now, it is very hard to reach a therapist that you can see one-on-one, or your doctor of psychiatry or psychology. It is so hard to get an appointment. Many of these doctors and therapists have months in advance that they just can't get to the patients and or the clients. As a customer and attending a group session with parts work with your liaison, Coach Portia, we are readily available and out there hitting the streets and ready to sit with you and just vibe. As an everyday Bridgeport resident myself, I've seen the burdened souls of this amazing place. I've seen what this city has been through. Yet, I've seen many healed throughout the state of Connecticut using parts work coaching. The height of the pandemic, parts work and many lives have soared, placing over 2,500 hours over the past 1 to 2 years just in parts work and unburdening meditation alone. Many have come to a place where they are now thriving, thanking their liaison for the constant help, the sacred space that's held for them over and over again. I become a parts work liaison to many therapists in the state of Connecticut and their clients. I have therapists as clients. I have doctors as clients that come to seek out this specialty of parts work as well as unburdening meditations. Parts work, because it is an extreme great tool is a sacred one-on-one space. UnBurdening Meditations, we continue to do that, and we use that in both individual sessions as well as group sessions. These become the most amazing tools that many of you will encounter. I expressly encourage you to encounter parts work, encounter coaching, get the help and assistance that you need, because we here are ready to serve. To reach me, you could reach me at Coach Portia at sitsipchat.com. Sit, Sip, and Chat is my personal business. Sit, Sip, and Chat LLC is where you will find me. We are state and federally vetted, so we are able to handle where there is a need. Many of you are concerned about, oh, I don't know if my insurance is going to cover coaching. I don't know what this is. I do want to embark upon it. No worries. Parts work, even though my business becomes self-pay because I'm not vetted by the state of Connecticut to use insurances, coaching doesn't truly work like that. So a lot of the sessions are self-pay, but we make these sessions affordable for you to attend. And more so, group sessions become very, very vital. Make sure you attend one or several of our group sessions so that you can begin to unburden your life today. Again, you could email me at Coach Portia at sitsipchat.com. Visit my website, sitsipchat.com. You could also reach me at 203-350-6779. That is a call-in line. So call in, leave a message, and let me know that you are in need of parts and unburdening meditation. Sit, Sip, and Chat, my business, is a coaching, mentoring business. Sit, Sip, and Chat is actually an acronym that I use very often in my meditations. Unburdening well, Sit, Sip, and Chat has been used in many venues around the world. Just recently, we were in Jamaica, and the past 2 years, we went to Mexico to unburden souls. Continue to reach out. Continue to look us up here. I am a member of the Minority Business Association Center for Joint Ventures. I am also a part of Psychology Today. You can find me there. I am also an International Coaching Federation Connecticut chapter. You could find me there. Locate me in the great city of Bridgeport, Connecticut. Ask around. I'm also located at 1000 Lafayette Boulevard in Bridgeport, Connecticut. 203-350-6779. Come get your session. Join our group sessions. They are here for you to begin to unburden and live a holistic life. We work specifically with the grieving. We work with sadness, depression, if you're stuck and can't move. This is a little more than life coaching. This is liaison coaching, where I become the enterprise between yourself and your parts, working closely like a ship, sailing away so that you can have a greater tomorrow. Again, my name is Coach Portia. Many know me as Portia Brantley or Liaison Portia. Be well, and I'll see you in the next video.